Hi, I'm Allison. I'm the creator of How to Develop a Home Yoga Practice online course. And one of the most common questions I get from my students and clients is, why would I want to develop a home yoga practice? Or how can I motivate myself to do my home yoga practice? And I'm gonna try to motivate you and get you started by telling you about the benefits and the amazing opportunity you have with a home yoga practice. And the first of those is that with a home yoga practice, students have a more consistent practice and therefore they get more consistent benefits, right? If you're going to class once a week, you probably feel great after class, but I bet that feeling doesn't really last. And when you practice more consistently and you have more capacity to do that when you have a home yoga practice, you really get more consistent benefits. That kind of yoga bliss tends to stay with you longer. In fact, that's why I started doing a home yoga practice, was because I loved the feeling yoga gave me, and I wanted to have that feeling of lightness and strength of body, clarity of mind, and also just a feeling of aliveness. I wanted that sensation more regularly, so I started practicing at home. And what I've seen over the years of teaching is that my students who practice consistently at home, and it's usually only a couple postures or 10 to 20 minutes, but those students progress much more rapidly, several times more rapidly than a student who's just coming once a week or twice a week. So those students progress more rapidly, their practice really opens up for them more quickly, and they receive more benefits. They really tell me how the practice has changed their life, and I've had deep, meaningful conversations with them about how this practice has changed and shifted them so radically. And I can relate because the same thing happened to me. And as a teacher, I'm always finding ways to share with my students how you can really use this practice to have health and happiness beyond your wildest dreams. So having a home yoga practice, you'll be able to do the practice more consistently and receive more consistent benefits. Now, you may have heard me mention time. Time is the second benefit to your home yoga practice, because when you practice at home, you can really fit it into the time you have. I know most of us are accustomed to going to 60-minute or 90-minute classes, and by the time you add in getting to the studio or gym, it can be around 2 hours of, time to do your yoga practice. So the beauty of a home yoga practice is that you can really kind of just fit some yoga into your day. Maybe that's when you get up in the morning, or maybe it's during your lunch break, or maybe it's when you get home from work. But you can really, I promise you, do a effective, powerful practice in just 10 to 20 minutes. And I even give you some tools for that on my website, homeyogapractice.com. I call it the 20-minute miracle. So you can really use a home yoga practice to do your practice more consistently and have more of these condensed practices that allow you to get more yoga in and get more benefits. Now, the third benefit of a home yoga practice is place. You can do it anywhere. So that means if you only have 20 minutes, you can do it at your house. You can do it in your living room. Some people are like, oh, well, I don't have space, or I didn't do it because I needed to sweep the floor. And I'm like, you guys, not a valid excuse here. I make time in my house, and or space in my house, and I've done practices in airports, on balconies, because that was the only space I had when I was staying somewhere while traveling. I've done them on porches. I practice out on our little porch, which is uneven bricks, but I love being outside, so I practice there. I practiced on the ground in Hawaii. I used to practice on the beach by the water. I'd practice on the grass, so I really don't see that as a valid reason not to do it. I actually see it as an opportunity. I love being in nature, and I love being in unusual environments when I practice, because it just seems to inspire what the practice feels like and means to me. Like, I was in Buenos Aires practicing on this super small balcony. It was probably 8 feet by 3 feet, 15 stories up, and I felt like a trapeze artist just flying above the city doing my practice. Or when I was traveling in Peru, I would practice at bus stops, but I would be there around these ruins out in nature practicing yoga. And to me, those were like perfect opportunities to practice yoga. Or here in my home, I practice in our little living room. And again, it's an opportunity to infuse my home with the love of yoga. So when you decide to make the sacred space for your practice, whether that's a tiny little area you carve out in your living room, or you move the coffee table aside to do your practice, you can do it anywhere, right? So then if you travel too, you can do your practice, and it's really beneficial after the stress of travel on your body to do some hip openers, to do legs up against the wall, to do some postures that are going to help you feel settled, grounded, and open again. So the beauty of it is that you can do it anywhere, right? Even in the places where you don't think you have space or you don't think are perfect for yoga, they are. They're asking you to find your yoga there. Now, the last benefit of a home yoga practice is that I found for myself and for my students, it actually gives you a deeper and more meaningful relationship with yoga. I know for myself and my students that now that we have a home yoga practice, and since I've developed my own home yoga practice, when I go to classes and when my students come to my classes, they're significantly more engaged with the information and with the practice because they're taking it home with them. They're applying what they learned. So the yoga gets more imprinted in their body. They actually start to absorb it and assimilate the information more quickly and more readily. They're also more engaged with the information because they're using it, because they're applying what they have learned. So instead of just once a week engaging with this information, they're engaging with it, 5 to 7 times a week, and that creates a more profound relationship. And this also draws in the benefits, right? It's like it just calls yoga into the very fabric of your body. So I hope these give you inspiration and motivation to start doing your own home yoga practice. And like I said, the more consistently you practice, the more consistent the benefits are going to be. You really only need 10 to 20 minutes. You can do the practice anywhere, and it will create a more deep, meaningful, and rich relationship with your yoga. So I look forward to hearing from you. Leave your comments and questions below. I'll reply personally. I love getting your comments and questions. And thank you again. I'm Alison, creator of the Home Yoga Practice online course. I'll see you soon.